Hey, everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour live podcast. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday, another Friday. And we got some horrible weather coming in right now. And hopefully, Johnny's power will stay on here long enough to get this interview in. But I want to welcome local musician Mr. Johnny Pop Day to the live podcast. So, Johnny, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing well, sir.
Doing all right, man. Glad to get you on the podcast. I've seen you do a lot of stuff here locally, and very excited what you do here, man.
I try to stay busy as much as possible.
Jennifer Nelson says, "Hello, guys. Hello back to you, Jennifer. How are you today?" So we're gonna jump right into this. And if you have questions for Johnny, guys and gals, please put them in here on one of the social medias. I will try to get to these as best as I can because it's just me right now doing this. So we'll get to these as quickly as we can. Um, let's talk about this a little bit, man. What got you into playing music, and who are some of your influences, man? But what was it specifically that got you into saying, "Yeah, I want to try this"?
So I was in the Army for about 9 years, and my last deployment was Afghanistan, 2008, 2009.
Hmm.
And so I wrote a letter to a group called Soldiers Angels, and they send instruments to soldiers that are deployed by request, and I requested a fiddle. I thought I'd be Charlie Daniels by the time my deployment was up, and come home maybe get into some bluegrass or something. A few weeks later, maybe a month went by, I got a letter back in the mail attached to a guitar case. So we ran out of fiddles. Try this guitar. So I tried to give that away to some guys in my unit. They wanted me to try it, so I tried. I couldn't keep up with them, how fast they were changing chords, and so I went back to my tent and I wrote a song. I learned like 2 chords, 3 chords, and I wrote a song with those chords in it. And then I took it back and showed them, and then they acted like they were really impressed that I had wrote a song.
Hmm.
Everybody did that. Apparently, everybody doesn't. And I kept doing that until when I got home, I was doing it and writing these songs and playing them just for my family, more for myself as therapy, um, about experiences I'd gone through. And I really have really bad anxiety. I didn't want to play in front of people at all. And my oldest daughter, she was 5 at the time. She said, "Daddy, I'd like to see you play on a big stage or hear you play on the radio." And that really pushed me to go out and try to make that happen for her. And now she wants nothing to do with it. She'll be 16 in April, and she's so tired of me playing music. Shuts me up every time she hears it. So that's what got me started. And then influences. I love singer songwriter stuff. I'm a lyrical person, and I like a lot of the local guys. Obviously, Chris Stapleton, I like a lot. But John Prine, I love John Prine. Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpson, all those local cats. I like Marty Stewart. But I never really grew up listening to bluegrass, even though I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I grew up listening to AC/DC, Michael Jackson, and then the occasional country, and that was Alabama mostly.
Mm.
That was my mom and dad's music, and then I had a uncle and aunt that were teenagers listening to all like hair metal. So that's what I grew up with, and my influences.
Writing music, still to this day, you mentioned it helps you with your therapy and everything. It's your therapy for, and music does that for everybody, especially me.
Yeah.
But for you personally, though, what's it mean to you when you're getting that out and putting that to a song, and you see it come to life? What do you? I mean, not to be personal or anything like that, but what comes to your mind? What helps you with that, though?
Well, it's really everything to me. Um, going through so everything. I'm not a very good fictional writer, so almost everything I write is fact or truth or something that's happened to me, memory, and it may be stretched or pulled. I take liberties, obviously. It's all from anxiety, depression, bad relationships. Very seldom do I write happy. I'm not a good happy writer either. So it's all those scars, mental and physical scars that come out ink to paper. And I'm old school like that too. I have to actually write it. I can't record it and then write it. I have to actually put pen on paper and write it down. But once it comes out, and then you mold it, and then you play it for yourself 400 times before you show it to anybody else, then play it for the band, and play it for a crowd to see how they react. When a crowd's singing that back to me because they love it for whatever reason it touches them, there's no words.
Mm-hmm.
That's an indescribable feeling.
It's amazing how music's art, music's therapy. Music is a great passion and drug, as I should say, and it's cool. Go ahead, Johnny. Yeah, and it's cool how people can take your song and interpret it in their own way that helps them. And I'm all for that, man. All for it.
Absolutely. I used to write very direct and very clear, and I don't like metaphors a lot. I don't like to do that really. You could absolutely see what my songs were, but lately I've been writing more around the idea instead of directly at the idea, and I feel like I've grabbed more people with those songs because they have more room for interpretation. And I like that a lot. Like that's what I like about John Prine so much, and Tyler and Sturgill really, is that they write around the idea and give you room to interpret for the most part what their songs mean to you.
Jennifer Nelson says, "Doing good, guys. Love listening to Johnny." So there's another fan right there. And this is your mom, Tammy DeBoer Day. We love you, Johnny Pop Day. So she's in here. Let's see what else. So here we go. So with this pandemic, though, Johnny, how's the pandemic affected you as far as a local musician? Man, has it made it extremely tough, or no?
Yeah, it's made it very tough. 2020 basically shut down. I think I think through that year, I may have played 10 to 20 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I say that coming from 2018, 2019, those years, actually, since 2015 or 2016, I play in the hundreds of shows a year. And 2019, I think I played around 225, 250 shows. And so to go from that, and it's what I love to do it, but it's also what I do for a living. Living performing at shows, at bars and festivals, especially festivals. And so in 2020, when all that stopped, my income stopped also. And then my therapy stopped also because I wasn't getting to go out and express myself that way. So my wife and I did a few Facebook Lives over that year, and I got to play a few smaller shows. And then 2021, last year, I think I got back around 125 shows, something like that. So it was a little better. We're hoping to get back on track this year. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, the light's kind of opening up just a little bit. I've seen a lot of shows happening, and coming about. But would you say it's an even playing field now for local bands, or do you think it's oversaturated now with music since everybody's home and they're doing everything with like Spotify, things like that, and creating their own music at home? You know what I mean? And putting it up.
Yeah, so I think um, as many as in the area that we live in is just infested with talent,
Oh yeah.
so much, and I want to hear it all. And so everywhere I travel to play, I try to bring somebody with me so that they can go find that venue also and play at that venue. And I try to encourage places that don't have live music to have live music, so that we have more places to play and more people can get out and play. Um, I hate to say that it's oversaturated. I use that a lot when a place wants me to, like, if a place wants me to be their house band. I don't want to do that because I don't want to oversaturate my fan base with just my music.
Mhm.
That I I feel like that's how you lose a fan base. You get in front of them too much. I don't want to do that. I want to travel and play music and spread it out.
Mhm.
I also want to see the music community around here continue to grow like it has. Um, I was really afraid in 2020 that it was going to put a damper on the music community, and uh, it wouldn't be as strong as it was. And I honestly feel like it's a little stronger coming out of the pandemic. Like everybody, it just seems like everybody's trying to help everybody more
Yeah.
to find shows. Whereas when I first started playing music, it wasn't that friendly. Like people didn't want, like, this band didn't want you to come and play at the bar they're playing at because you're taking shows away from them.
Yep.
And I don't feel like it's that way anymore.
It's like I always say, man, and you hit the nail on the head being oversaturated if you're going to play, at the same place 2 and 3 times a month.
Hmm.
It's like I've always said, if you see a band that you like, go out and check them out, because who knows if they're going to come back, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. I agree with you 1,000%. Yeah, you've got a guy who wants to play and will play, but don't burn him out at that one place. People will get burnt out coming out to see that eventually.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to think, like, I usually play the same set for a year before I change it. When I'm playing when I'm playing 200 shows a year,
Mhm.
I have time to change that set. Really, like you have to relearn, or you have to learn these songs. You have to learn 100 songs or whatever. And it's not like, if it was just an hour. If every show was an hour, 45-minute set, sure, I could change that easy. But three 45-minute sets in a night, that's a little tougher. 3 and 4 hour shows, it's hard to completely change that.
Mhm.
So I usually playing the same set for 6 months to a year. But that's again why I don't want to play. Why I don't want to play the same bar in town 2 or 3 times a month. Once a month is plenty.
There's something rubbing or something loud on here. I don't know what that is.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Um, and you said something too that's so true. It seems like everybody is wanting to help, and there's more people accepting what genre of music that you play. And there's so much talent around here. There's a lot of rock, heavy metal, uh, death metal. I mean, it's just all great stuff coming out of the hills and hollers of Eastern Kentucky, and that makes me so proud because we're not stupid, folks. We know what we're doing. We're very very intelligent people.
Absolutely.
So
It's not just and I'm not taking anything away from bluegrass. Bluegrass is hard music to play. Um, I can't pick fast enough to play bluegrass, to be honest. but it's not just bluegrass. Like you said, it's rock. There's pop. There's pop rock. There's rap.
Yeah.
Country. As long as we can stay as far away from pop country as we can, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, man, I totally forgot about rap. Yeah, there's several rap artists around here that blows my mind. There are several that are really good, actually, too.
Yeah.
You know, these boys knows what they're doing, and the cool part is they're making their own videos.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. The like TikTok and YouTube and
Twitch.
yeah, Twitch. I've not used that, but even Facebook and Instagram have made it so easy to put your music out there. You know, and get a few eyes on it. You don't have to travel like I do to do that now, but I still think people should. I still think people should get out and play and do the pay and dues part.
Yeah, yeah,
Get 4 or 5 guys together in a band and buy an old van that barely runs, travel a couple states away, and get those memories and those. Oh, you just need to do it.
yeah. That's exactly right. So, do you think that for musicians now, it is a lot easier to get shows, say, versus 10 years ago? Because, and do you think that a musician in today's day and age would just, get burnt out and be done with it from back in that day?
Um, I don't know if I would say it's easier because it's a little. As much as people are helping each other, it's also cliquey.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is, I feel like certain venues have certain people that they like to have come play, and they take advice from those people on who to have come play at that venue. And so, as far as that goes, you got to get your foot in the door still. So you can't just say, "Hey, I play music and I'm pay me."
Hmm.
You know, you still have to get your foot in the door with it. So like I was saying earlier, when I go play, especially out of state, I like to try to take somebody with me. What I mean by that is somebody that's not had as much experience as I have, and try to mentor them a little bit and show them what it is to book a show and to set that show up, because every show you play, you don't have a sound guy or a lighting guy or roadies or a
Yep.
green. You know, some of this is rough. It's actual work. You know, you have to load the car yourself, unload the car. You have to pack it in, set it up, put your set list together, and be professional. So most of these bars will give you free food, free drink, and I've seen guys try to drink the bar dry, and that's not professional. You're not going to get asked to come back that way.
No.
And we want that callback. You want the callback. So sure, have a couple, feel good, get loose, whatever it is, but be professional. Play your full set, and that's the things I'll try to show these guys. And they come in and either and I don't take them so that they can open a show for me and eat up some of my time. I'll have if it's a solo gig, we'll sit together on stage and just take turns and play the night away. And you've got company, and you're not alone. You get to play the show and have a good time and learn. And so that's what I like to do, to help other people find gigs and get shows, because it's not easy. I don't know, compared to 10 years ago, if I would say it's easier, but I feel like there was more house bands then that set up residency at certain places, and so it would have been hard to get into those places. You know.
Mhm.
What was the rest of that question? I don't.
Do you think that somebody during that time back in, like say 10 years ago, would have got frustrated and just, gave up because of the way it was. Because you're right. Because once they had a house band, that was it.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, but I also think that maybe there were more people just playing at home then, you
Hmm.
know, um, just playing at parties for their friends and whatnot. Because they couldn't get into that club to play, and they gave up,
Hmm.
so they would play around. And there's nothing wrong with that either. Play at parties. I play at a lot of small events, a lot of private parties. There's nothing wrong with that either. But it's just a different experience when you're playing for people you don't know. When you've got a room full of people that you don't know and they've never heard your music, you don't know how accepting they're going to be to that.
That's true.
So I do think that a lot of people would give up and not be very persistent. But at the same token, I think a lot of those folks would give up now that couldn't set up residency because some of these clubs want that variety. They don't want the house band.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's more of that now too.
Thinking about the pandemic and everybody was doing these live shows on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook. Did you want to do that, or did you just want to just say, "Wait, no, I want to save my songs and do it for a live audience, an actual live audience"? Because there was a lot that was doing live streams.
um, I did want to do that, but after the first one, I realized how hard that is to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to do a Facebook Live or Twitch or whatever YouTube Live, whatever it is, when you can't. Like I said, my wife helped me, and she was reading comments to me. People were talking, but you can't. That interaction, it just felt empty.
Mm.
You know. So I mean, we had a good time with it, but on the same token, it would have been better to be able to be live.
Sure. Is there a show for you that you kind of had to win over the crowd as an opening act, or have you ever experienced that before?
Yeah, I've experienced it a lot, actually. And as an opener, it's your job to get the crowd pumped. Get them excited about the closer. And a few years ago, my band Exit 23 had the opportunity to open for Ricky Skaggs, and we thought he was going to come in and play his country set, and he played his gospel bluegrass set.
Oh no!
So we were a little different. We were different, but then in that same year or the year after, maybe or before, I can't remember. We opened for Nappy Roots. So both ends of the spectrum there, and
Yeah.
it was great. That was a great show. That was actually a hometown show, and we had our crowd there, and they were pumped, they were excited, and we had it was a good one. But yeah, I've opened shows many times, and it's scary. It's scary. A lot of pressure is on you.
What's it feel though to win over that crowd when you got that first two songs in and you're like, all right, these folks are actually digging what we're doing compared to the next band behind you that's totally different.
Yeah, it's awesome, awesome, and it's not. I've always told the guys, whoever it is I'm playing with, or if somebody's playing in front of me, I've always said, put on the kind of show that they don't want to follow.
Mm.
Put on a show that I don't want to follow. And it's not a competition thing. It's if you put on that good of a show, you're going to push me to play better, to put on a better show, to try anyway. And sometimes I think we all need that, just a little push. It's not a competition thing. You're just pumping me up.
You've always got to have something to keep you on your toes, man. Because if you keep going to the same to these shows, it's the same old thing over and over. It's just going to get boring.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's got to keep you on your toes, my brother. Would you say you would be a little nervous releasing singles right now since all this is going on? Because I know people's attention span is like 2.4 seconds. But would you feel comfortable in releasing singles and then doing an album, or what? What's your thoughts, man?
So in the past, done done like a 5 song EP and done a full album. So I've never just released a single. Um, and I think that just releasing singles may be the way to go right now. But you kind of want to get it all out.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have, if you have the attention, you want to have the attention. You don't want to have it and lose it. So you kind of want to put the whole album out while you have the attention rather than put a single out. What if you wait too long to put the next one out?
Yeah.
Anything could happen. I've been working on an album for 2 years because things have happened that have kept me from finishing it. And I'm hopefully going to have it finished in this fall. I'm hoping. But again, I can't put a definite date on it anymore because things keep happening that are out of everybody's control. You can't control COVID.
No.
You can't control this weather.
No. Look, it's snowing right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I knew we were supposed to get snow. I didn't know we were supposed to accumulate anything.
Right. So speaking of that, man, with these songs you've got written, and you've been sitting on these for a while, are you gonna go back and try to rework them? You just gonna like put them on and get them out of the way, or what's going on with that? Because I know a lot of times musicians will be like, "Man, I've had these forever, and I don't know, you know, I hate sitting on them. Just get them out there."
Yeah, so that's a really good question because they have evolved already from when they were first put down as scratch tracks. So I'm probably going to rework them, tweak them a little, and then I've got some songs off of one of our first albums. One of Exit 23's first albums. I've got some songs that I'm going to pull off of that album and put on this one, but they're going to also be different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be good. We'll see.
Is there a song that you were working on that was brought to the table that totally ended up sounding differently than what it was intended to? Did you have one that just like changed and changed and changed?
Um, most of the songs that I write pretty well keep that skeleton. They pretty well stay the way I wrote them. But I've been fortunate to play music with some really talented people, and it's always up for great. Like, however, I'm open for them to mold it also.
Mm.
As far as a song completely changing, I don't think that's ever happened. But there have been dynamics added, key changes, things of that nature. But for the most part, the bones, the structure stays the way that it was written, and that's not something that I've said many times, many times in rehearsals and whatnot. This can go any way. It can go any way y'all want it to.
It's beautiful to see when you bring a song, especially just like a couple of chords of a song, to see it go from birth all the way to adulthood, as I call it. It's cool to see where that little riff or intro goes to. It's beautiful and it's cool.
Yeah, I've not co-wrote with many people, but I have a few times, and it's awesome it's awesome if you can bring a piece of a song to the table. And I know there's been a couple times Kevin Harmon has came over and rehearsed. He and I, Timmy Tackett, Charlie Cable, Jay Justice, Tony Mullins have been playing together recently, and they make up my band September Run. And but he'd come over with a couple of song ideas, or he said, "Hey, listen to this," whatever. And I know one rehearsal we wrote 2 songs in like an hour and a half. We wrote 2 songs that he just brought pieces. He was like, "I was going to show you these after rehearsal," and all the guys hadn't shown up yet. And I was like, "Go ahead and pull them out."
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty killer.
And I think Jay's now doing producing stuff now, and that's pretty cool.
Jeremy is.
Is it Jeremy? Okay, yeah, Jeremy.
Jeremy Justice, his brother. Yeah, he's got a studio. He's got a little recording studio. And, he does great work. He does great work.
What song is taboo for you to cover, man? What song for you will you not touch? That no, don't. I'm not going to touch that one. Leave it be.
So there's a couple of obvious. It's Freebird, Wagon Wheel, and then honestly anything Morgan Wallen.
There's something like interfering, man. There's something like grinding or something other. I don't know what that is.
Still?
No, it's fine now. I mean, it was just grinding on. I was like, "What is that?"
I don't know. I don't know why, but I had my phone charging. Maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure.
Possibly, yeah. That's no biggie. You can start over, man. That's fine.
But anytime anybody requests Wagon Wheel, it's a $50 tip, and you sing it. I'll play it, and you sing it. $50 in the jar, you got it. I've had people pay. I had one guy pay 2 times at the same night to let somebody come up and sing Wagon Wheel. I don't get it.
$100.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow. Yeah, I know that. My mind's going blank, but the Hootie guy. I think he did justice with it. I think he did a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, it's just that.
Darius Rucker, that's him.
Yeah, Darius Rucker. Those songs get requested so much.
Oh yeah.
You was talking about getting burnt out earlier. You just get tired.
Freebird.
Yeah, Freebird is a running joke at my shows. Somebody will always ask for it because they know I'm going to tell them to leave.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But, no, I'm joking. I'm kidding.
I know that.
Get a chuckle out of it.
Speaking of that, I was watching a little bit of a documentary earlier, and these guys were at the crash site of the plane.
Oh man! Wow.
And they were actually finding stuff that the NTSA just gave up on. Man, just said screw it, pretty much.
Really? What was
the
name of the documentary?
It was on Facebook, and I saw it, and I clicked on. I'll send it to you after the podcast. I'll send it to you. And what struck me craziness out of it is that they found a panel of the flight light, something that said on the dash. They found that in the ground. They found now this is crazy. They said that the band was on the plane partying, drinking, playing poker, stuff like that. Well, like a band normally would do back in the day. They found a Budweiser can that was unopened from 1978. It said Florida 1978 on it.
Wow.
So what's a coincidence of finding that? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah,
it's right there. And they found like parts of the plane. It was wild on what they found, man. It was pretty cool, actually. Just to know that this is where it happened. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Really?
It is, but it's scary. I mean, not scary, but you don't know what you're bringing home with you.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, these guys lost their lives there. So, I mean, I'm a big believer in paranormal stuff because who knows what could be roaming there.
Yeah.
So, so are you still working on this album? I know you said it was 2 years in the making, but how far are you close to getting this completed? Or are you still working on this?
Still working on it. See, the problem I get being a songwriter, especially if it takes this long to put an album together, is that I always will end up writing a song that I feel like deserves a place on the album. So I may go in and take this one out and put this one in, you know, and then you got to write a whole new album to put this other one on that you took off.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm going to do. You got my mind working. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to try to go ahead and get a couple singles out, 2 or 3 maybe, sooner, and then release the whole album. I think that would be smart. I hope the timelines stick and nothing happens, because I would hate to put those 2 or 3 out and then not be able to finish for another 2 years the album.
Yeah.
But on the same token, at the same time, if I can get the 2 or 3 out, at least that's something.
Yeah. I got his mind working, folks. I got him working. Folks, if you have anything for Johnny, any questions, please feel free to put them in here. We'll answer them. If you have any questions for me about any genres or anything, any type of albums that I have any opinions about, please put them in here. We'll answer them. We don't care a bit to. This is what it's for. It's for everybody and musicians and everybody. I would say, man, do like a little EP, like 3 or 4 songs, put it out there, wait a couple months, and then pop out this album. That's, get them out there for sure. You know.
I need to do that. I need to get back with the times and get some stuff on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever.
Yeah, pour it to it, man.
Whatever it is now, get this stuff streamed. I think I'm an old man, so I don't know how to work all these things. I started posting content on TikTok maybe a month ago or whatever. So there's some full length live videos on my TikTok if anybody wants to go see that. But I think, like you were saying with the attention span earlier, I think I need to stop posting the full video on there, because nobody wants to sit and watch a 3-minute video on TikTok anymore. They want to see 5 seconds and thumb up.
It's kind of like the YouTube shorts. They want to see like the short before the whole video. It's kind of like taking the good part that's in the video, do the short, and then come back and then watch the whole video. It's kind of like the movie trailers. Yeah. I feel like the movie trailers are the best part of the movies. It's like, stop.
They are really. I guess I need to write 2-minute songs.
Punk bands do that, man. I think you just need to just do what you're doing. People will still come about.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself still musically growing? And if so, what is that growth that you see, Johnny, possibly?
I do. If you're a musician and you don't see yourself growing musically, like, to me, that means, do you still think there's something for you to learn? Mm-hmm. And I definitely do. I don't think there's a master of music. I really don't. There's just, it's not just another language. It's everything. Music is everything. So that growth would look like me actually learning how to play the guitar, not just sounding like a self-taught singer-songwriter plucking away, throwing a couple hammer-ons here and there or whatever. I think that's where my growth would. Well, I know that's where my growth is going to come from, because that's what I'm setting my sights at for this year, is to be a better guitar player.
Mm-hmm. What do you hope everyone takes away while listening to any of your music at your shows, or when all this music comes out, Johnny? What do you hope that they get from it, man, or take away from it?
I just hope that they feel something that's not nauseous. I've always said, I've always said that you wrote a good song if that song makes somebody feel some kind of way that's not sick to their stomach. So if you're heartbroken and something I wrote helps you get through that, that's what I hope you get. If anything, if you're going through any type of situation, I just hope it helps you heal. Like I said earlier, music heals. I hope my music helps somebody heal in some type of way.
What would you like to see as a musician locally change? What would you like to see change locally, if anything, man, possibly?
I would like to see more venues. I would like to see more opportunities for live music. Um, I know I've talked to members of the Appalachian Wireless Arena about having local acts perform even in the lobby as people are coming in, or trying to get a local act on in front of all these nationally touring acts that are coming through. I think that would be huge. It's a great experience. I've had the opportunity to experience that, um, and I think it would be a great experience for some of these other guys and gals
Mhm.
to get to do that and play on a stage in the arena. Even like I said, if it's to a crowd that's just coming in, you know, the crowd don't have to know who that is on stage.
Right.
Stage to get the experience.
And think about the boost of confidence that would give somebody.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not just the boost of confidence. It's a chance for those people, for that band, to get some good pictures in a decent space on a decent stage that they can use to promote their band and try to make their band look better so that they can get more attention from different venues and
Mhm.
possible shows from that.
I always remember going to shows when I was little, and there's always a local band that opened up for that huge band. Like when I watched Black Label, Clutch, and Children of Bodom at that time. That's many years ago. There's a local band from Louisville that opened up for it, and it's huge. I mean, that's a huge boost of confidence, and especially if you're wanting to make it as a band, that right there should boost your not ego, but just boost your confidence more.
Absolutely. And something else, I think. I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere.
Hmm.
If you're asking somebody to come play at your venue, you should be willing to pay them something. You
Yep.
shouldn't be asking them to come play for free ever.
Gas money. Just give them gas money.
Something should come out of it. Even if you've never heard them before, they're still putting their time out. They're still just some sort of incentive to to be there. They're if they've never played anywhere before, chances are a lot of people are going to come to hear them play the first time that they do.
A lot of times on these big shows, though, these bands they'll have their own local or they'll have their own opening band, which I can see that. That's fine to me. But like you said, have somebody locally outside or out in the lobby, man. I mean, you give some type of band a chance.
Yeah. Also, and those opportunities are like I feel like they're different. Like you, I would not expect to get paid to go open a show at the arena, to go play a 30-minute set at the arena, at any arena or whatever. I would not expect to get paid for that. If I did, that'd be awesome. If not, I'm getting that exposure, in front of that bigger crowd or whatever it is. Especially as somebody that's if I were just getting started again, that's what I would say. That's what I would look for. I would want to do that. But even if that national band does already have their own opener, what would hurt to throw somebody local on stage in front of that opener? Like if let's say Jason Isbell's coming through and let's say Whiskey Myers is opening for Jason Isbell, and that show starts at 8. So put the local band on at 7.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that don't hurt anything.
No.
Open the doors at 7. Put the local band on stage. Let them go for 45 minutes or 30 minutes even or whatever, and then have the changeover. It wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt a thing.
Your mom put in here said, "We love you very much, Johnny." Mom and dad. That's awesome, man, to see your mom and dad support you. Because, and I say this full heartedly, a lot of parents don't anymore for some reason. I just don't get it. You're, it's like, you know, your kids are doing what they love to do, and that's the way it should be. But we live in a time of day where it's not now,
Yeah,
and that's sad.
yeah. We've seen it a lot. We've seen it a lot. We got 5 kids, and they all want to do a bunch of different things. 2 live in Berea, and 3 live with us here, and they're all into completely different things. And
Mm-hmm.
so we're trying to help them go do what it is they want to do. It's hard.
Oh,
It's
I
hard.
can imagine. I
Yeah.
can imagine. So, what advice would you give an upcoming band or a band that's been around for just a couple of years that's about ready to hang it up, man? What advice would you tell them to say, hey, no, just give it some time?
Yeah, don't hang it up. Don't hang it up at all. I would say, um, I would say, come with me is what I would say. I would say, come with me and come play this show with me. Let's start a festival somehow. Let's go do some charity work. That's one of my favorite things to do. And actually, that's exactly what I would say is let's go do some charity work. Let's go do a fundraiser for this benefit or whatever. Um, I love raising money for wounded warriors or combat veterans, however it may be, VFW, cancer patients. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
I love doing those things, and you also get some of your best exposure doing those things. So if I were in a band that had been around for a couple of years, and we were about to hang it up for whatever reason, I think I would just try to use. I think that when you use the talents that you've been blessed with for good, selflessly, you get blessings from it. And that's what I would say. I would say just push a little more, try a little harder, find somebody that has the ends that's willing to help you. If you want to do it, but whatever you do, don't stop playing music.
Man, I'm going to say this right now. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've even talked to my buddy Josh Crum about it. And he's like me, where find a venue and all this stuff. But I would like to have my own festival because where I do my live podcast, and I've done this for 12 years now. I'd like to do my a festival called BODS Fest and donate everything that I get to. I have diabetes, and I'd like to donate to like a diabetes foundation, or to my friend's Lost Limbs Foundation because he's an amputee. Because and he helps kids and adults who can't afford to buy their own prosthetic leg, arm, whatever. He helps them do that.
That's awesome.
And I would love to do something like that, but finding a venue, the bands, and the insurance, it's like you say, man. I mean, you both know behind the scenes there's a lot of work that goes into this. It's not
Yeah.
just, yeah, let's do it.
See, every year I try to put on some benefits. I usually play quite a few of them, but it's hard.
It is.
Um, as I already said, I do this for a living, and so when I do benefits, I don't want to take money. I want that money to go toward that benefit. So that makes it hard, but also the logistics of it are hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then after, it never fails. After I play a benefit that I believe to be for a very good cause, whatever. If I'm playing for a benefit, I believe for that benefit is legit and actually going to be a good cause for a good reason. But it never fails. I always have people message me, want me to come play this benefit at Bubby's house, for whatever reason that they made up. And like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't be that person. Trying to get a free show, pulling on somebody's heartstrings. Don't do that.
It's like I told you. It's like I told you earlier, man. I would give the bands gas money to come do this, because, like you said, I'd give them something for sure. Because I don't want them to come out just for nothing. That's just not me. That's not how it works. But you're right, man. There's a lot of people that will use the crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's a fine line, I guess, to walk, because yes, I want to get paid for my art. I want to get paid for my craft.
Sure.
But yes, I also want to share it if it will help pay hospital bills for a cancer patient, or help with medical bills for a diabetic, for help with the insulin or whatever, somebody uninsured, or help them get a prosthetic, like you said. I'm all for that.
I know you have a lot of music still this day, and I know I do too, man. But do you still have a go-to album, or maybe just a song that you find yourself going back to and listening to from time to time, that you have to have it in your repertoire of music, man?
I like Paradise by John Prine, and I don't cover it. I don't play it, and I won't, because I like it.
Yeah.
So I like Paradise by John Prine a lot. And then really, I don't know. There's a lot.
I can imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot, but that song just makes me happy. So that would be it.
So when are we gonna get this album? Are we looking at 22, later 22, maybe early 23, or what's processing so far? Maybe.
So the hope is fall of 22, fall of this year. That's the hope. But again, we'll see. I don't want to put on it, because I had put a definite on it before, and it didn't pan out, and I hate that. I hate it so much. I hate that, and I hate rescheduling and canceling shows. And I've had to do that 4 times already this year. So I'm not in a good way right now with the music. I've not played a show in almost 2 months.
Wow.
Well, not it's a little over a month. But it feels like a year.
Like I said, everything's getting a little glimmer of hope out there. Some things are starting to come back.
Yeah. I just hope that they do. The main thing, the one big thing that I'm really missing is festivals.
Yeah.
Festival shows. They are the greatest. It's a lot of fun. I've got to meet a lot of people, and I like to travel. So festivals are great.
What's your favorite festival that you've been to?
Rhythm and Roots, I think. Bristol Rhythm and Roots Festival. We got to play there on top of a school bus at a brewery right across from the main stage, just before Folks of Revival went on.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was awesome.
Man, how can folks stay in touch with you? Pick up this new album when it comes out, all your stuff that you're doing, your singles when they release. How can they do that, Johnny?
Facebook's really the way. I believe Facebook Messenger. You can message me. I do post content on YouTube and TikTok, and I try to keep people up to date on my Snapchat. I do Instagram also. So most of the social medias. I'm not a tweeter. I don't like to tweet. But that other than that, you can find me. Usually start on Facebook.
Folks, thank you all for tuning in for tonight's BODS Mayhem Hour live podcast. I want to thank my special guest, Mr. Johnny Pop Day, who's always welcome back on here. And please, folks, get out and subscribe to our YouTube page. It's BODS Mayhem Hour on YouTube. Please subscribe to us because we need to hit that stride of 1,000 subscribers, folks. We're up at 680 something. So come on, help a fellow podcaster out because I surely subscribe to everybody else's. So help me out. And tune in next Friday. We'll have another special guest on here. And as always, thank you guys for tuning in. I love each and every single one of you guys and gals. Thank you all so much. And thank you guys who stopped in the chat room and said hello to Johnny and me and everything. So thank you all so much, Johnny. Thank you so much, my man.